Good morning, John. How are you today? I heard that you want to see me.
Good morning, Samantha. I am pretty good, but I have some problems in my class. It is difficult for me to give the appropriate information to the students for their success. That's why I wanted to see you.
What can I do for you, John?
I wonder if you can give me some good advice.
Have you ever heard about feedback? Do you know what is this?
I have heard about feedback, but unfortunately I don't know many things and I don't have the experience.
Initially, you have to know that feedback is an essential part of education and training programs. It helps learners to maximize their potential at different stages of training, raise their awareness of strengths and areas for improvement, and identify actions to be taken to improve performance.
That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
When you give feedback, you have to consider 4 factors, which are 1. Post-feedback interval, 2. Modality, 3. Precision, and 4. Frequency. Post-feedback interval is the time after the feedback that we allow students to make corrections and improve their performances. The modality indicates whether the feedback is verbal, visual, or physical. Precision of feedback refers to the type of information from general to specific. For example, for younger children, less precise information is better. Frequency refers to how often you give feedback. For example, early in learning, more feedback is good. When the students have practiced more, you can give feedback less often, and late in practice you can only give feedback once in a while.
What about the types of feedback? How many types exist?
Don't be so hasty, John.
I am sorry, Samantha, but I'm so delighted with all these new things. Go on, enlighten me, please.
The types of feedback are positive, negative, general, specific, and congruent. Positive feedback is when a skill is performed correctly, giving a successful outcome. The player then knows what to repeat for the next time that they do that particular action. This can get them aroused and the player is then more motivated. This type of feedback is essential for beginners. An example of this would be if a basketball player performs a good jump shot and the coach tells them that it had good technique. Negative feedback: this is more than just picking out a weakness in the player's game. It includes what the player should do to correct the fault. This feedback must be used carefully because it can easily demotivate the player. To a player who is well developed in their sport, this type of feedback is vital to tune their techniques. For example, a coach telling a basketball player that their layup is not correct but they should be placing the ball in the square.
Yeah, I don't have problems. Go on.
The 2 types of feedback typically given in physical education classes are general and specific feedback. General feedback is just that, general. These types of feedback describe in vague, general terms the teacher's reaction to a skill attempt. This type of feedback is somewhat social reinforcing. Examples of such statements are, "Good job," "Way to go," or "You can do it," and "That's great." These types of statements don't tell the students exactly what is good, nor do they give him/her information to be used in the next skill attempt. On the other hand, specific feedback is the type of feedback that most students need. The types of feedback that are specific in nature are statements such as "turn sideways," "follow through," or "use the instep, not the toe to kick." Statements that are specifically skill-related are the types of feedback students need as they learn motor skills. These particular examples of feedback are qualitative in nature. That is, they describe the processes of the movement as it is being performed. An analogy to the teacher giving specific, skill-related feedback would be that of a doctor diagnosing an illness and then giving you a prescription to fix it. Finally, when the feedback focuses on the cue or refinement just explained and often demonstrated to the entire class, is termed congruent. In the end, I will give you the essentials for feedback. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Feedback should not just be considered quantitatively, but rather the quality of the events should be considered, with regards to feedback being positive and specific, immediately following the student's performance, being corrective or evaluative, and having specific reference to part of the skill. Of course, feedback should be given to all students in proportion, or as needed, and not just to the high achievers because they might understand it better. Sometimes students might not need feedback for particular skills that might be closed, provided that successful demonstrations have preceded the trials. Active instruction can take two forms, concurrent and intervening. Concurrent active instruction is when the teacher gives feedback to the students while the students are engaged with a task. Intervening instruction is when the teacher pauses the activity in order to give feedback, either evaluative or corrective. That's it for today, John. I hoped that I helped you.
Thank you very much, Samantha, for your help. Bye-bye.